Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, guys? Tons to talk about today. This is going to be a wild Wednesday here on the channel. Lots of things going on. The Pittsburgh Penguins we are going to start off with here in a couple of moments. And then after we talk about the Pens a little bit, it is going to be pretty much all Steelers from there on out. We heard from Aaron Rodgers today, his thoughts ahead of the matchup against his old team coming up on Sunday night. A couple of returns to Steelers practice, one of which we have talked about before, another that we have been waiting for quite some time. And then we will also get into some other things relating to the Steelers, what they got up to last night, sort of tying two sports teams in the city together. Also, wide receiver trade rumors. More news on that came out today from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. And then an update on a couple of former Steelers bids for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Exciting stuff to get to here this evening. But like I said, we are going to start off with the Pittsburgh Penguins here in a minute. A historical night for two players that I think all of us here in Pittsburgh have not taken for granted necessarily, but we still gotta appreciate as much as we possibly can the good things that we have here on the local hockey team. Before we get into all of that, I want to say first off, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, turn on notifications so that you never miss anything. Go ahead, like this video, share this live stream, and leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have, get those in the comment section. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks that way. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And tune in later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a fairly heavy Steelers topic show here today, but we are going to start off with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They were in action last night, and it was a very good night for the local hockey team. Great play on the ice, records set off the ice, and this team, we might need to start having a conversation. Is what we've seen through the first 7 games of the season now, is it real? Because this is not a team that we had many expectations for heading into this season, but the way they are playing, I mean, how could you not be optimistic of how long this team could carry this? You see the final score right there, just taking you bit by bit through the game last night. No changes to the Pens lineup. The only change was in net, with Rodgers getting the start against his old team in the Vancouver Canucks. That sort of pushed him out the door for new goaltending. Also, the return of Josh Getzoff in the booth for SNP. So that was great to see him. Game, not the hottest of starts for the Pens last night. As a matter of fact, it was shades of some ugliness from the past couple of years. Connor Garland for the Canucks from the right circle. A slap shot beats Rodgers clean. 1 minute and 18 seconds into the game, the Canucks take a 1-0 lead, 1 goal on 1 shot. So not a good start for Shalovs against his old team. And again, the first goal allowed on the first shot bites the Pens in the ass immediately. It was all Canucks for a good chunk of that first period. At one point, they were out shooting the Pens 5-0. The Pens did not register their first shot on goal until roughly 8.5 minutes had expired in the first period. Once they got that first shot out of the way and started to, generate some time in the Canucks end of the ice, the Pens did tie it up. Great work again by this fourth line for the Pens, which they have been outstanding to begin this season. For the most part, it's been Connor Dewar, Nola Chari, and Blake Lizotte, and it was Dewar getting the goal. Parker Wotherspoon, a shot from the blue line that Dewar gets a piece of, tips it past Kevin Lankinen to tie the game up at 1. Heading into the second period, the momentum that the Pens built up in the first period, it finally broke through and just goals galore. Tommy Novak on the power play for the Pens as the, power play was expiring. Novak from the right circle, just a ripper of a rip shot upstairs on Lankinen for the goal. That gave the Pens the lead. First goal as a Penguin for Tommy Novak. I did not know that was his first goal, though. The more I thought about it at the time, I'm like, he came over from Nashville, and then he got injured. So great to see Novak finally get his first in the black and gold. Not too long after that, I think all of these goals came with, under 5.5 minutes to go in the second period. So Novak scores, adding on to the lead. Sidney Crosby gets kicked out of the faceoff dot, lines up over near the wall, comes in, scoops up the puck off of the draw, and rips it blocker side on Lankinen for the goal. That, a historic tally for Sidney Crosby. That was his 1,896th career point. And that is combining regular season and playoffs. That passes Mario Lemieux for the most points, regular season and playoffs combined, in Penguins history. So, historical feat there from Sid. I think, thinking back to it, Lemieux, of course, he had those health complications when, he was still in the prime of his career. Sid, he also had some, issues with concussions, but still great feat there from Sid. I think Lemieux did it in 500 less games, but the way Crosby's been playing right now, this still is a remarkable achievement for him. He's had a lot over, the past couple of years. This one might be the biggest of them all. Now the most points, regular season and playoffs combined in Penguins history. Sid sits at 1 with 1,896. Lemieux 1 point behind him. Evgeny Malkin in a somewhat distant third place right now with 1,535. Then that's followed by Jaromir Jagr and Chris Letang. Letang sitting in fifth now at 864 points. Still very impressive that he's in the top 5 here as a defenseman. So a historical tally there from Sid. He was very humble about it after the game. Typical Sid stuff right there. And honestly, who's to say that he does not reach 2,000 before he wraps up his career? I mean, he is on a roll right now. We could see him here within the next couple of games get to 1,900 right now, and then he'll be well on his way to 2,000. Moving on here from Crosby's goalpens right before the period expired, Evgeny Malkin, who we just mentioned on that list as well, he gallops into the zone after knocking down a puck at center ice. High shot on Kevin Lankinen, a big rebound pops out, and Anthony Mantha puts it home. He actually goes into the net himself, fights his way out of the net, giving a couple of shoves to some Canucks players, but a 4-1 lead that the Pens carried into the second intermission. Third period, another history-making point recorded. Penguins on the power play again as the second unit is starting to come on. Chris Letang still out there from the first unit. Gains the red line in the neutral zone. A cross-corner dump-in that takes a perfect bounce off of the boards, obviously intentional by Letang. I believe it was Mantha then who sort of blindly threw it to the middle of the zone there, and from the high slot, Justin Brazeau, he puts home the second power play goal of the game for the Pens. That made it 5-1. That assist there, secondary assist from Letang, his 600th career assist. That makes him the fourth active defenseman to reach 600 career assists and only the 20th in NHL history. So another impressive feat right there from Letang. That one, I think, fairly difficult for a defenseman to make, but that just speaks to the longevity he has had in his career. He has been outstanding in his career. A bit of a slow start to the year for him. Fans have gotten on him for his carelessness with the puck a little bit and plays in the defensive zone, but just the hockey IQ to put that puck off the boards like he did to set up his teammates for a goal. That is why I still think he is a top 10, probably at least top 15 defenseman still in hockey right now. As you see there, final score from last night's game ended up being 5-1. Awesome game for the Pens. And like I said, I know we're 7 games in here. The Pens now a 3-game winning streak. They are 5-2 on the year, but I like to think the Vancouver Canucks are a pretty good team. And man, it just makes you wonder, is this for real? I'm starting to, think it is here because the way that this team is playing right now, it is just such a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's been roughly 2 years now where for us Penguins fans, where you can, actually make an appointment television every single night to sit down and watch the Pens. And, that's what I think that this new coaching staff and these new young players have brought to this team: a fresh air, a resurgence of energy and hunger in this lineup. And just they're playing at a level that none of us could really have expected them to play to begin the year. Is it sustainable? We will have to wait and see, but it is a damn good start. And who's to say that this team cannot be the Washington Capitals from a couple of years ago when they hired a brand new first-time head coach in Spencer Carberry, and they took off on a run to the playoffs. Who's to say that the Pens can't do that? But folks, keeping it on tonight's game, as I said, just aside from, I think, the first half of that first period, outstanding stuff from the Pens. Looking at the final statistics, they dominated, or at least were neck and neck with the Canucks in every single category. Pens outshot them 25-24, made the most of those opportunities. They won over 66% of the faceoffs. Special teams units, good once again, 2 for 5 on the power play, 3 for 3 on the kill. And the only, I think, stat category that the Canucks had the Pens beat with last night was block shots, which they only had one more than the Pens. So great stuff by the Pens. Like I've said, 3 in a row. Talking about, some more individual performances other than Crosby and Letang reaching those milestone marks. Another strong game from Ben Kindle. Did not record a point, but the hockey sense on this kid still very, very sharp. I think he is learning quite a bit in playing well, rubbing off on guys like Crosby and Malkin. His hockey IQ and sense out there on the ice, it is better than I think half the league right now. So he is on a good start right now. I think he, just like I believe it was Josh Yohe put out there a couple of days ago, he and Harrison Brunick both have good shots of keeping their roster spots past their 9-game tryouts. And then in the net, to wrap up talking about last night's game, the play on the ice, Artur Shalov's strong again, just had one, bad goal allowed on the first shot of the game. I think, he was a little bit out of position, but after that, made every single save on a shot that came his way. 23 saves in the 1-goal game for him last night. He's now 3-1 on the season, a .935 save percentage and a .368 goals against average. Really just had one bad stinker. I think it was that second time the Pens played the New York Rangers. Other than that, he has been damn good in net. So great stuff off the ice. Can't say more about Dan Muse and the coaching staff off the ice, whatever they are cooking up right now with this roster, which the roster, still isn't as strong as, you would like for a team that is winning this much right now. So we'll see where the Pens are in a couple months if they make additions. But what they have right now, Dan Muse and his coaching staff, they are making a whole lot of good out of what they have. Great 5-on-5 special teams units are doing well right now, and not, I would say, great yet, but they have been better than years past in their own defensive zone. So great night all around. Players on the ice, fantastic job. Coaching staff and how they have this team playing, fantastic as well. And as you look at that picture right there of Crosby and Letang with their milestone pucks, fantastic job too by Pens PR. The quote, the description there of this post: hang it in the Louvre. There's room now. Absolute an elite post right there by Pens PR. Wrapping up talking about here for the Pens, great game last night. They were back on the ice, at least the injured players this morning. Yoel Blomqvist, he was on the ice for a workout. Also, Kevin Hayes and Rutger McGroarty, who have been working out on the rehab from their injuries. They were out there as well. And I haven't heard this guy's name in quite a while. I wonder if this is his first time on the ice for the first time in a while. Bill Zonan, another first-round pick for the Pens in this year's draft, who I didn't really think he had a chance to, make the team out of training camp here. He would have had to had a damn good preseason like Ben Kindle, but Zonan out there practicing with the Pens. We'll see what happens with him as he rehabs his injury. And that'll do it for the Pens. Great win last night for the boys, 5-2 now on the season, and they will now take a 3-game winning streak into Sunrise, Florida tomorrow night. If you want to see if this team and how they're performing right now is something that is, if it's something that's real and is sustainable, a matchup with the reigning Stanley Cup champions that'll really put this team to the test tomorrow night. So very excited to watch that game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we are roughly 21 minutes into stream here and we got our little chat about the Penguins and that awesome game they played last night out of the way, we are going to get into heavily some Pittsburgh Steelers news and content. But before we go there to the comment section, we go. Flacco, welcome back as always. Good friend. Hope you are having a fantastic evening. Like I said, tons to go on right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also to the comment section as well. Echelon, welcome back, Echelon. Glad to have you back as always. It's like say his name and he appears on here with you guys. You know, really, I watched the number over here. And yeah, you nailed it, Echelon. I see the number of live viewers going on over here, and I see it, bounce up and down throughout the stream. But, we were at, I think, like a handful of people talking about the Pens there. And now, as soon as I say the word Steelers, all of you pop up in here. But hey, that's all right. Glad to have you guys here. We are going to start with what happened after practice today, and then we will get into what happened during practice today for the Steelers. Like I mentioned earlier, Aaron Rodgers, he is the main story heading into this weekend's matchup against the Green Bay Packers. He today speaking about facing his former team in the Packers with the media had a good bit to say, but like we all could have predicted, this one is going to be more of an emotional matchup for him in terms of good times rather than being, a man feeling like he's scorned like that week one matchup against the New York Jets. Rodgers, in his press conference, nailing on the main quotes here, said that this Packers week, this Packers game for him, it is not a revenge game. Came out, said that straight away. His quote here, "I don't have any animosity towards the organization. Obviously, I wish that things had been better in our last year there, but I have a great relationship with a lot of people still in that organization. This is not a revenge game for me. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I guess I grew up there." So, Rodgers, nothing, that he's going to be, overly fired up and wanting to absolutely light up his old team here. This is, I'm sure, going to be tons of emotions flowing through him on Sunday. Obviously, it'd be 10 times that if this was a return to Green Bay for him. But this game in Pittsburgh here, takes a tiny bit out of it, but still, I don't think a whole lot there. So, not a revenge game for Rodgers. He said that. Still, though, I hope he is fully focused and still has that, hunger to go out there and take it to his old team, even though he still likes a bunch of people over there. I want to see the fiery competitor Rodgers. You can still be emotional and, think of all the good times you have with your old team, but please do not get too distracted by that A-Rod. I'm going to trust him that he is a mind like a steel trap individual, and he'll be able to put all of those feelings to the side once the ball kicks off. But interesting quote there from Rodgers. Not a revenge game, but still, I think he does want to become, I think, the fourth quarterback in NFL history to beat all 32 NFL teams. After that initial quote, Rodgers also said, like he mentioned there in the comments, he still stays in contact with multiple people in the Packers organization. Mentioned that he's going to be sure to meet up with a couple of strength and conditioning staff people before the game on Sunday night. And also said that he still stays in touch with Jordan Love, their quarterback. Said that, they've texted back and forth throughout the season. Mainly the Packers playing the Browns before the Steelers did. Rodgers wanted to, get in touch with Jordan Love, see, get a couple of pointers on him of what the Browns threw at him. So I think that's cool. Also, Rodgers, glad to see that he wasn't like his predecessor, Brett Favre. If we remember Brett Favre, he wasn't too fond of Rodgers and helping him learn the ropes. I think Rodgers did right by Jordan Love bringing him along before Rodgers departed Green Bay. After that, got into some minute details of last week's matchup against the Bengals and this week's matchup against the Packers. Rodgers did talk about facing that Packers defense, particularly Micah Parsons. Said that Micah is a phenomenal player, a future Hall of Famer, and that he's going to be a game wrecker. Said that the Steelers are going to need to have 4 hands on him, double team him, chip him on every single play on Sunday night. Please, Steelers, I hope you listen to him there because, Myles Garrett facing him is one thing. I think you've got a ton of familiarity with him, to where you could know when to attack him with double teams, when not to, and hold him at bay. They did a good job of that against the Browns. But also, Micah Parsons, similar to Myles Garrett, you don't have that much familiarity with Parsons as you do Garrett. So Parsons, he really, really scares me in this one. I know Broderick Jones had a good day against Garrett a couple of weeks ago, but this is a totally new test right here. I want to see the Steelers try to eliminate Parsons as best as they can, make someone else on that defensive line, which isn't meant to be a shot at anyone else on the Packers defense. I want the Steelers to make someone else other than Micah Parsons, break through that Steelers O-line and get to Rodgers. Also, last 2 things Rodgers really hit on, said that talking about Pat Freiermuth and the big game, 2 touchdowns that he had against the Cincinnati Bengals. Rodgers said, if you're not getting targets and you're a high money guy, it's got to be tough on the psyche, on the confidence, but Pat never bitched about anything. He was never making it about him. I think we've heard that before from Freiermuth, a really team-centered guy, but I like this quote from Rodgers and like that he did, I'm sure on the outside, Freiermuth put on a pretty, easygoing face and, some good acts towards his teammates there. But I'm sure on the inside, he really, really wanted to get out there and be a big contribution to this team. He did that against the Bengals. Can that continue? I sure hope so. And then the last thing, keeping things, lighthearted today, Rodgers did address the crazy and very unnecessary and quite honestly downright dumb tackle that Broderick Jones put on Rodgers. Rodgers said, I text him. I say, hey, man, I love your energy. I love everything you're about. But also, I'm 41, okay? You can't be out there tackling me like that. But I love you, Brod. Said also that they had a couple of laughs about it afterwards. And Rodgers even joked saying that Broderick better watch his back because next time he is going to go and tackle Jones, who is, 6'6", 300 pounds. So I thought that was cool there from Rodgers. Seemingly everything good on that front there with Broderick Jones. Glad to see that, he is healthy and that it's not something that he is going to hold a grudge over. After that, Rodgers, he was the main guy that you wanted to hear from today. If, you were a Steeler fan, we will hear from Rodgers again tomorrow. He is slated to talk with the Green Bay media. So anything else he says there, we will talk about it later on. On the field, moving things over to Steelers practice today, some good news on the field. The return of 2 players, one we were expecting, one we've been waiting, saying, all right, this guy's been out for a while now. Where the hell is he? First off, the guy who will actually be a contributor on Sunday night, Calvin Austin, back out there on the practice field today. Looks like he is all good after that shoulder surgery, was moving his arms quite well, running routes in practice today. Nothing out of the ordinary from what Mike Tomlin said yesterday in his press conference. We'll like to see how they ramp up his participation throughout the week here. Also, returning to practice today, smiling from ear to ear, am I, ladies and gentlemen? Will Howard, everyone's favorite 6th-round pick, returning to practice today. The Steelers, they opened up his 21-day practice window. So now the Steelers, they have 21 days, 3 weeks to either activate him and put him on the 53-man roster. If they do not in those 21 days, then he will be put back on IR for the remainder of the season. So we'll see what happens with Howard. Steelers did release Logan Woodside from the practice squad yesterday. Could the Steelers activate Howard and probably see if they can sneak Skylar Thompson onto the practice squad now that his hype from his preseason performances have faded off? Or, I think this is the least likely of the two. Could they maybe activate Howard and sneak him onto the practice squad? I would not do that if I were them, because I think, some organization out there, they're going to see, hey, national champion is, free to be had. I mean, you're probably looking at a crappy team like the Saints or Jets or someone who are, going to be searching for quarterbacks. Why not take a shot on him? So we'll see what happens with Howard. He is practicing once again after that pinky injury that has held him out the entire preseason and the first 7 weeks of the regular season. But probably the biggest news today, ladies and gentlemen, the Green Bay Packers, they announcing today their uniform for Week 8, and our eyes will not be put through as tough of a task as we initially thought. The Green Bay Packers, they will not be wearing those yellow pants and yellow helmets to go along with the Steelers' primary yellow uniform on Sunday night. The Packers, they are going to be going with an all-white uniform. So thank God, because it would have been a whole hell of a lot tougher for us and for the players on the field to, search for the right guy in a sea of yellow. But now that you have mainly white going up against yellow, that is a much better circumstance to deal with. Wrapping up Steelers practice talk here today before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment and your comments in the comments section. Just right before we went live, the Steelers releasing the official injury report for today. Going to go through that real quick. Will Howard, full participant in practice, as is Malik Harrison. He was a full participant as well. The former Baltimore Raven linebacker, similar situation to Howard, has been on injured reserve. His practice window opened up, so he is going to try to make a comeback. Might even be active for this weekend's game against the Packers. Who knows? Also, practice report, Calvin Austin III, full participant, was wondering whether he was going to be limited or full. Usually guys coming back from injuries, you'd see them be limited at least day 1, probably even day 2, but then day 3, that Friday, they'd be a full go. Great to see that Austin is a full go right out of the gate. No practice for TJ Watt or Cam Hayward today, usual rest days for them. The only semi-worrying injury on the injury report for the Steelers, a new addition, center Zach Frazier, limited today with a calf injury. So definitely tweak something in practice. If he's, did not practice yesterday, I'd be like, all right, obviously you want to, not have him re-aggravate it back-to-back days. So we'll see there. But I hope that that's not some sort of a situation where he is questionable heading into Sunday night. If you got to keep him off of that leg, whatever it may be with that calf for the rest of the week, do it. Going up against this front for the Packers, I don't think you can afford to lose a guy like Zach Frazier, who has been the leader on that offensive line so far this year. The Packers injury report, do not think that is out yet, though. One update that I did see from them today, one of their top wide receivers, Christian Watson, he said that he is expecting to play Sunday night. So this Steelers secondary that is coming off one hell of a rough week against the Cincinnati Bengals. They are going to be going up against I think, fully healthy receiving unit for the Packers. They'll have Christian Watson back. They got Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, Malik Heath, I think, as well. So a solid wide receiver core there. All of those guys formidable. Not superstars yet, I don't think, any of them, but they are legit NFL wideouts. And then you got to worry about the tight ends as well. Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, and of course, the man in the backfield, Josh Jacobs, which we'll talk, I'm sure, more about Jacobs on Friday and Sunday, leading into the game Sunday night. But going up against Josh Jacobs, after this defense just gave up over 100 yards on the ground to Chase Brown, they don't stop Jacobs. I mean, yikes, that is going to look like code red everywhere for this run defense. And it also will make you wonder if Chase Brown can do what he did Thursday night and Josh Jacobs goes out there and just runs you over. What do you think is going to happen with the best running back in the NFL right now, Jonathan Taylor, next week against the Colts? So fully capable offense for the Packers, I believe. We'll see how the Steelers defense responds on Sunday. But to begin the week here for the Steelers, some good news. Austin, Will Howard, back practicing with the team. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 7 of you in here right now. Going to get to your comments right now, catch up on them now that that segment is out of the way before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news. To the comments here, Flacco, welcome. I'm depressed about last game. Haven't been motivated to talk about the Bengals game. Yeah, neither have I. I mean, we covered it, sort of talked about it a little bit more on Monday, but I think Friday, that live stream on here, I think we all got out everything we needed to do. We realized that we got our asses kicked. There are many legitimate questions, especially on the defensive side of the ball moving forward, but I think we're all mainly looking forward to this Sunday game against the Packers and to see how this team's respond, see if they can right that wrong as best as they can and show that, hey, it was just a short week against a quarterback that has diced us up, no matter what we've thrown at him for a couple of years now, against easily the best wide receiver duo in the league. So, not much went in the Steelers' favor in that matchup, heading into it, the short week, even though the Bengals too had a short week, going up against those wide receivers as well, even though this defense is the highest paid in the NFL. But I want to see this defense go out there and respond on Sunday. I think we're more focused on seeing, all right, show us that that's a fluke more than, keep reliving over and over and over again the Bengals just, stealing your lunch money at will. Echelon here, we deserve to lose, but A-Rod deserves to win. He always has to deal with a bad defense holding him back. Yeah, I did see those couple of comments from Packers fans as well online. Oh, Steelers fans finally, for the first time, are experiencing what it's like to have peak Aaron Rodgers, but the defense can't do stuff behind him. I am a little worried about that. I have grown a little bit worried about that over the past couple of days, but this still is the highest paid defense in the NFL, and all of these good players can't all suck together at once for long. So I want to see this unit, play up to at least $100 million or $120 million defense in this game. Let's, after a rough start to the season for that unit, I think 2.5 games they've played sound defensively, 3.5 they've played god-awful. Let's take baby steps here and let's get, this thing on track here. You're going to have some good tests against some good teams right now. You want to, gain confidence and get things going on the right track again defensively. go out there and shut down these teams' offense. You got Jordan Love in that offense. They haven't, clicked on all cylinders yet, but they're going to be fully healthy. You got probably the best offense in the NFL right now in the Daniel Jones, Shane Steichen-led Colts coming in the week after that. And then 3 weeks from now, Sunday Night Football, Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. They'll be a good unit as well to face. So go out there, take it to them, and let's see this defense perform. Then, as for, Rodgers playing at an MVP level right now, I just hope that he keeps it up and that the defense can, come along as the season goes on here. Upset with everyone on our team except for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, he has been lights out, on pace for 40 touchdowns. That'd be a franchise record in a single season by the for the Steelers. But also, Rodgers throwing 40 touchdowns. I don't know how many interceptions he's going to have, but if you throw that many touchdowns at the age he is at, he's got to be a strong candidate for the for a fifth MVP if that winds up being the case. I don't believe him about the revenge. He's all about the ball out 5 touchdowns day for my quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe him that, it's not a revenge game. The Jets game, that was a revenge game and a half. I mean, he got kicked out of there, very unceremonial exit, felt disrespected by that absolutely horrendous organization in the Jets. We'll mention them briefly here in a little bit. So I don't think it's, that much a revenge game for Rodgers. Does he still want to go out there and, show his old team and, the fans that I'm sure some of whom kicked him on his way out of the door? Do they want to, does he want to go and shut them up and show them, hey, I still got it. You guys messed up letting me go. Yeah, I'm sure he wants to do that. I'm sure he wants to become, the fifth NFL quarterback to beat all 32 teams. And I'm sure he's going to want to go out there and ball out against this Packers defense, which, looking on that side of the ball, not many guys there that he knows. So happy to hear that, Rodgers is going to, recognize in the moment that it's special playing his old team. But I hope he's able to turn that killer switch on when the game kicks off, which I think he will, by the way. Aaron going to show us why it's still his property. It's going to be, it's a going home to visit game. Yeah. Also, that revenge factor plays in as well. It would have been, I'm sure twice the bigger game if this was in Lambeau compared to Pittsburgh. Echelon here, the defense better show that up. Specifically, TJ, Hayward, Ramsey, and Queen, all that money for what? And most importantly, fire Tomlin. Hell of a comment there from you, Echelon. I love it. Individually on those guys, yes. Those 4 guys especially, they need to show up. Cam, I don't care if you're 37, 38 years old, whatever age he is at right now, you are still the leader on that defensive line. Stopping the run, it starts with you, and you got to lead by example, make a couple of plays, let the young guys, Keanu Benton and Derek Harmon, follow you. TJ, after watching a guy that you compare yourself to and think you're better than in Myles Garrett have a no-show against you guys 2 weeks ago, you went out and you played him for Halloween on Thursday against the Bengals. Can't have that happen again. I don't care what sort of scheme or blocking assignment they throw your way. Please beat it. Get to Jordan Love. Throw him off his game. He's not as, immobile as Joe Flacco is, but still, though, I don't think he's the most, run-first quarterback in the league. So let's get after him, TJ. Ramsey, all right. You got your ass kicked. Plain and simple by Jamar Chase. He just absolutely abused you in every single which way in that game. You're going to have some different guys here. I'm going to be honest, sort of looking ahead at this game, kind of coming up with key matchups in my head. There's not really one matchup that I can concretely say is going to happen in the secondary. Could he get Watson, Dobbs, Wicks, Golden. I don't know, but whoever goes up against you, Ramsey, you're going to be facing a diverse set of receivers. Go out there, tuck the kids into bed, and let's show that, you going up against Chase was just a one-off here. And then Patrick Queen played damn good against the Browns and the Vikings. You kind of, the rest of the defense looked rough against the Bengals. Let's see you, get to the quarterback here and stop the run. And you're going to have a hell of a task keeping tabs on Josh Jacobs. So when you get up there, you meet Jacobs, get him down. That's all we're asking. Those 4 guys, they're going to need to step up. All 4 of them are going to need to play great here on Sunday to give us a little bit more confidence, have that arrow trending up, for our confidence and hope for this defense moving forward. Those 4 guys got a ball. Sugar Ray Robinson in here. Welcome, Sugar Ray. Glad Calvin is healthy. And I think this is a very important game, and I am happy for him and Broderick Jones. Yeah, this is going to be a big game for Jones. I mean, facing Myles Garrett is one thing because you've got familiarity and tons of tape on him. Micah Parsons, especially on his new team with however they're using him for the Packers, that's a totally different story. So, Jones, please play good, or at least, don't suck. Don't get Rodgers killed. Also, Darnell Washington, have fun being a left tackle for the day, because you're going to be over there beside Broad a ton. Wherever Parsons goes, I want Darnell Washington to follow, that's for sure. And also, yes, very glad that Calvin is healthy. We'll see what his inclusion in the game plan is like for Sunday night. Echelon here again. This is Moose Legacy game. It's tight end day. We are wearing the new unis that Moose was promoting in, and he hasn't been used that often. But with the last game under his belt, he's feeling like himself again. All of those things true, though. Wouldn't it be the most Mike Tomlin thing ever for Muth to just go back to maybe he gets a catch or 2 for 16 yards and that's it? I hope you're right, though. I would love to see Muth just turn it up now. Of course, the Bengals, quite frankly, kind of like Jamar Chase, how Jamar Chase made the Steelers defense. Freiermuth, the Bengals are his bitch, right now. And hopefully that is a game for him that, gives him the boost moving forward for the rest of the season, because fans have been on him, and I'm sure he's heard it all. Now, if he can go out there and ball, I mean, that would be dangerous for this offense. You get Muth going, Jonnu Smith, maybe he gets going a little bit. I want to see one of those 2 guys have another touchdown, Jonnu or Freiermuth. That would give me a ton more confidence, more than I already have moving forward for this offense, that the tight ends, them against the Bengals, it wasn't just a one-off, their usage. I want to see that more consistently. Echelon here, early prediction, 9 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Muth. Jesus. Even better than his Bengals game. Damn. Like Flacco said, that is bold. I'm not going there, but I do want to see him or Jonnu Smith have another touchdown, that's for sure. Steelers secondary finna get burnt. I'm not talking about them until they string together a month straight of good play. The only good thing for me that's keeping the defense alive is Patrick Queen. So you're having you're bit hard on Queen, but you think he is the only thing keeping this defense alive right now. I think that was just a one-off thing, Queen against the Bengals. But this secondary, I would be lying if I said I have little confidence about them heading into this game. I mean, I don't think the Packers' passing game has gotten together yet this season. They're probably viewing this as a get-right game right now, coming off of that performance. I mean, yikes. Ramsey, Porter, Slay, them going up against a unit that they're all good, but no one really profiles themselves as a 1, so you don't know who the ball is going to go to on every single play. I am really, really worried about that. I'm in the same boat with you there, Echelon. Highest paid don't mean anything when the scheme is as old as 2004. Agreed. Same old soft-ass Tampa 2 zone coverage that Tomlin insists is the perfect defense to play, and that it is the players that will make that scheme great. Not that he has to change it or anything. Mark the Shark in here. Hope Move has the type of game too. Not worried about the offense though. Yeah, not worried about the offense though at all. But the defense, I think we're all really, really worried. Mark the Shark again. You've been a big Beanie Bishop advocator on here, Mark. Bishop should be playing, in my opinion. I mean, he's not going to get elevated right now because no one's hurt, and it's going to be tough for him, especially if Corey Trice comes back at some point in the near future. But I got to be honest, the way that Darius Slay has been playing, I mean, yeah, you committed $10 million to him, so you're going to play him as much as you can to see if you can, get a return on investment for that $10 million. But let's say Darius Slay just completely and totally continues falling off of this cliff that he is on the very, very edge of right now. At that point, I'm sitting Slay. I'm moving Brandon Echols to outside. He has been damn good. He was really, one of the very few and very dim bright spots on that defense from Thursday. I'll move Echols to outside, and then I'll elevate Bishop and have him play the slot. I think, after the ending to the preseason he had, why not give him a shot? If the secondary is still going to struggle, empty the toolbox here on trying to fix it. It's in my opinion. So I can see where you're coming from there, Mark. We blame age as a cop out, and yes, it's a factor. But when they're not in position, confused, and the defense looks stale, that's the play calling, and there's only one anomaly. Yeah, that was another thing too that I've seen many analysts pick up. And I think Echelon, what was it you saying that Queen is the only guy keeping this defense alive right now? He is the main hub of communication out there, and the communication, it has not been good. It had a little bit of a spike of improvement when Deshaun Elliott came back, but the communication on the defense was very, very ugly to see out there. And if I'm the Packers, I think any smart football team is gonna recognize that and attack that. Go hurry up offense early, get this team confused on their assignments, and that's how you put up 33 plus points on this team like the Bengals did. Flacco here, 41-year-old, playing better than 90% of the quarterbacks. Age is a non-factor. Age can be a factor in some places, but at quarterback, you can play that game for a long time if you still got it up here and right here in the arm. And Rodgers, he has both going at a 4-time MVP level right now. So, yeah, 90% of the quarterbacks he's playing better than right now. Of course, he's going to get disrespect by PFF and other people because analytics matter. And also, hey, he plays for the Steelers. The Steelers never get any breaks and, those types of things. But, Rodgers, the way he's playing right now, on pace for 40, 41 touchdowns. Who's to say he keeps it up that he won't be in heavy consideration for the MVP? I don't think the MVP award is as locked up as it seems right now. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he's slowly entering the conversation again. Baker Mayfield, I think he's a favorite, but that rough game Monday night against the Lions might have taken his odds down a little bit. And trying to think of some other ones here. Lamar Jackson's been hurt, and when he's been in there, he hasn't been the same. Jaden Daniels, same thing. Josh Allen, I mean, I guess he would be a favorite. I mean, he's really the only guy that's, playing well right now on that Buffalo team. So we'll see. Could Rodgers get an MVP again? Who the hell knows? All right, gonna catch up to your comments here as quickly as I can. Echelon here. Gonna sound like a complete hater, but I don't care. Want Calvin to have a mid to bad game because if he has a good one, that means the Pittsburgh Steelers are certified not getting a wide receiver too. Yeah, that's why I just said I'd be very curious to see what his snap rep is, what his snap count is like heading into this game. And yeah, I mean, you say if he has a good game, Steelers might think they have a wide receiver too. A little part of me is saying they already believe that already, but still, that should not excuse be an excuse to not go out and get a wide receiver. Can Calvin Austin be, a legit wide receiver for you? Absolutely. Could he even be a wide receiver too on a good day when he is at the top of his game? Sure, he can be a low-end wide receiver too. But regardless of how Austin plays in this game, and regardless of what you've seen from him in the past, one thing you have seen from him in this offense, and they also might make an excuse, oh, we didn't have Aaron Rodgers then. We have seen what this team is like when your number one goes down. Austin, he cannot pick up that baton and run with it. You need to go out there and you need to get a guy that has at least a tiny bit of experience being a number one somewhere else. And there are tons of guys, we're going to get to them here in a second, available right now that have had that experience. So you don't sound like a hater. I understand, Echelon. That's like me saying for the Penguins right now, oh, they're doing good right now, which, in the moment, yay, but kind of sucks that they're playing good right now because that just takes them further and further away in the odds for Gavin McKenna. So, like, I even say stuff like that about the Penguins and stuff like that. So I get where you're coming from there, Echelon. But, yeah, Steelers, I think what we're thinking and they're thinking are two completely opposite things. I want them to go get a wide receiver too, regardless, but I think they might already think highly of Calvin Austin as we speak. Flacco here, JPJ better be on Jamar Chase next game. Ramsey on T. Higgins. Shout out to Beanie Bishop, my guy. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how you're going to combat those two differently next time around. I think I would, do what you said there, Flacco. Put JPJ on Jamar Chase and give him, help from safeties or even another corner and have Ramsey and T. Higgins go on it. Hopefully Ramsey can play better in that scenario. Sugar Ray Robinson, does 20 get any burn? Caleb Johnson, I mean, after what was it against the Browns, he got a couple carries and one good gain of 9 yards. I thought, okay, hey, we're going to see some Caleb Johnson here. Keep things fresh on the running game. And then just absolutely nothing from him in the Bengals game, which, short week. You're going to want to keep guys as fresh as you possibly can and use guys more who didn't play on Sunday, on Thursday. We didn't see any of Caleb Johnson. So I don't know if he gets any burn at this point. I just have no idea. Slay is more of a corner teacher nowadays. Like shows them tricks that aren't using well. Yeah. I definitely think Slay, is a mentor in that room, but I mean, you still got to at least have some sort of semblance of play. I mean, hell, even, going back to some of the old corners the Steelers have brought in from the past, Patrick Peterson looked twice as good as Darius Slay has had so far this season. Lance 33, what is going on? Great to see all of you in here. I pray Rodgers gets 41 touchdowns. If he does get 41 touchdowns, I'm signing him to whatever he wants to bring him back next year. That's for sure. And 41 touchdowns, I think that should get you the AFC North win. He'll drag this defense kicking and screaming there if he has to. And maybe even playing at that rate, maybe we see a couple of playoff wins in our future. But the defense, they definitely have to get it together. Getting caught up on the comments here. Jacoby is our guy, says Sugar Ray Robinson. He's the best pickup. Flacco, on the other hand, says, give me Lockett to teach these youngins and grab a Jacoby or a Waddle. See, now that would be interesting. I mean, you're going to get one or the other, if anything at all. But I'm definitely taking Jacoby or Waddle. We will talk about them both here in a minute. Jacoby, like Sugar Ray said, he definitely is the guy. I mean, I'm getting repetitive here on him, but he just seems like the perfect fit for this for this scheme and this team. Dog in the running game, in the right spots as a receiver, fluid route runner, plays, better than Calvin Austin would in 12 personnel. And, God forbid DK Metcalf goes down, at least out there in Las Vegas, and a little bit with the Patriots there for a spell. Jacoby Myers has had at least a little bit of experience of acting like a team's number one. So, yeah, Jacoby Myers is my guy. There's some other guys out there that obviously would be, excellent, additions, like legit 1A, 1Bs to DK Metcalf, but will they be as, good of a fit to the puzzle for the Steelers offense? I'm not sure anyone available right now is going to beat out Myers. Flacco says, I don't have any faith in CA3. Steelers are so stupid, so we have to talk about these scenarios, says Echelon. Yeah, I mean, can we just, at least once every, press conference or something that Tomlin has, take a question from a fan just so we can make sure our voice are heard and get our ideas out there. I think Tomlin too many times has been trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel has, been perfect. Or should I say the opposite of that? He's been going with the same wheel, running it down, into the ground to where the wheel is, being barely held on right now when he should change it and get the spare out immediately. So, yeah. Lance here, again, hope they give Parsons the Garrett treatment so that he does not kill A-Rod. I'm giving him more than what they gave Myles Garrett. I think, Garrett, you at least saw Rodgers Jones hold up well on some one-on-ones against Garrett. For Parsons, though, I'm not going to take that chance. He's too unfamiliar. He's younger than Garrett, so he's got at least a tiny bit of more explosiveness at this point in his career. And, yeah, I'm giving him all the attention in the world. I'm sending Darnell Washington over to whatever side he's on every single time. And also I'm probably going to give a chip with Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell on the way out of there as well. Mark here, what do you think we are going to trade for a wide receiver? We have 12 draft picks. See here, with the way things are going with this team, I think, that's a very loaded hypothetical question. I don't think the Steelers are going to be willing to give up more than a fourth. And if they do, for some reason, give up a third, they're going to be asking for a somewhat early day 3 pick back in return. So I give up a fourth for Jacoby Myers because the Raiders, they kind of need to trade him. If not, I give up a third and in return get Myers, but a third for Myers, but also you do a pick swap, like a 6th round pick for a 5th or something like that as well. So I'm not, they want round 1 and round 2 picks. Those are off the table. No questions asked because you don't know what you're going to need in the draft here. Are you going to need a 1st round quarterback? Who the hell knows? Will Rodgers want to come back? That plays into that. Are you going to need a tackle if you decline Rodgers Jones' 5th-year option? That could, be a realistic possibility, spending an early round pick on a tackle. Are you going to need to, draft D-line again if, one of those guys starts to, really decline? Hayward or Keanu Benton start to bust out a defensive back because Joey Porter Jr. isn't panning out. So you're going to need all of those day 1 and day 2 picks as you possibly can. And very few exceptions that I'm going to trade anything in those few days. Lance here, highest paid defense in the NFL. Let Mount Washington chip him every play. I'm doing more than chipping him. I'm keeping him in, and then maybe you leak him out late as a receiving option over the middle and let him, try to use linebackers as bowling pins. But I'm helping him as much as I possibly can. 4-rounder, the Steelers are stingy and stupid. They say they are going all in, but they're not. And that's another thing. We're going to get into the wide receiver talk here in a second, and I wanted to bring this up when we got there. With the way the defense is playing right now, you talk about all in right now. we keep talking about adding a wide receiver, and I have, heard from people saying, oh, hey, what about, trading to help add on defense? I think we got to be real. That isn't going to happen. They're going to need to rely on internal improvements for the most part in that area. Defensive line. Are you going to, take out any of the high-paid guys like Cam Hayward or Alex Highsmith or TJ Watt? No. And you got young guys that you still need to see a good bit out of, like Harmon and Benton and Herbig. So no help coming on that. You're just going to need to hope that group gets better. You're not going to go big game hunting, taking any of those guys off the field. At linebacker, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, Cole Holcomb, those guys. I don't think you're going to replace any of those guys. They've actually been playing, fine most games. Defensive backs, same thing. High-paid guys and young guys that you're still going to need to find out some things about. You're not going to, make too hasty of a decision at the trade deadline to go big game hunting and take one of those guys out of the starting lineup. And honestly, I think this trade deadline very heavily, offense guys available, because defense, who's really available around the league defensively? I mean, I got this article here. Let's just get into this right now, and then I'll get back to your comments here in a moment. But today, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, he's been insider of the day here, came out with a ranking of the top 25 players who could be on the move at the trade deadline, and getting, back into the Steelers' wide receiver situation. 3 wide receivers the Steelers were linked to in this ranking. Jalen Waddle, 10% chance that he gets traded. The Steelers and I believe the Giants, right? Yeah, the Steelers and the Giants, they were mentioned as fits for Waddle, though I doubt he's going to go anywhere. Go down a little bit, Jacoby Myers, a 35% chance that he gets traded. The Steelers, Dolphins, Giants, and Patriots fits for him. And then after that, Chris Olave, 20% chance he gets traded. Steelers, 49ers, Giants listed as teams for him. So the Steelers, they still are being linked to these wide receivers, which still gives us maybe even blind hope that one of those guys will be a Steeler here. But back to talking about the defense there. Believe Echelon, it was you who brought it up. There's not much help available out there on the trade market. I mean, I'm just scrolling through this right now. Trey Hendrickson, I mean, I doubt he gets moved if the Bengals are hanging around 500. Think Max Crosby, he's been floated out there. It's going to be very, very tough to pry him away from the Raiders. And any other guys on here, I mean, I don't know if any of them really tickle my fancy, or if I'm convinced, that they're going to be, that much of an upgrade over what the Steelers already have, which at that point, why would it be worth the hassle? So we'll see what happens. But, back to your thing, this being an all-in year, looking at how the trade market right now is very slanted towards the offensive side of the ball. While your defense, while you wait for your defense to improve on its own, go out there, get a wide receiver, and, turn this into an offensive central team. Take a little bit of pressure off the defense. You don't have to have every single game come down to the last play where the defense is out there trying to stop the opposing team's offense. Go out there, get an offense that's going to put up 40 points a game. And if you have to, win a couple of shootouts, hey, it's better than losing a shootout. So go in all in on offense. Not much you can do to improve the defense. You've sort of done everything you could to put as many good players on that defense in the offseason. Let's now focus on the offense a little bit, get Aaron Rodgers everything that he needs to be to put this team over the hump on that side of the ball. Here again to the comments section before we wrap up the show here today. Echelon complete all-in look would be like trade for Jacoby Myers for J.C. Horn and maybe Dexter Lawrence. Well, I think you put Dexter Lawrence in that camp of Hendrickson and Max Crosby, where that would be probably one of the most insane trade deadline moves of all time, but probably not going to happen this year. I think you table those trades for the offseason. But Jacoby Myers, yes, I think that would be a solid all-in move. A really, really, really all-in move would be getting Waddle or Olave or someone like that, a legit, second number one. But yeah, Jacoby Myers, that'd be an excellent all-in move for this offense. You give two fantastic wide receivers with a very good third in Calvin Austin. You got the tight end room with a ton of good names, and then the running back room led by Jaylen Warren right now, I think will be fairly solid. So, yeah. And then if the Steelers do make a trade for a defensive player, I do think it will be a DB, or maybe even a defensive lineman. I think linebacker, you're not going to add anything there, but defensive line, I could see them getting another defensive end because Isaiah Loudermilk is out injured. But DB, maybe you add another safety, I guess, because yeah, Thornhill's been all right, but I don't think any of us have been overly impressed with Chuck Clark, and Jabril Peppers has been, relegated to the sideline a bunch. So, yeah, maybe we'll see what happens there. It shouldn't take you a whole presidential term to trade for a wide receiver. Plus, you should look at the state of your defense and just go all in on offense. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying there, Echelon. And now they decide to pinch pennies. I don't think it's about money. It's just, think it might be, them waiting for the perfect trade to happen when, hey, you might have only Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the season. Time to go all in here and truly go for this Super Bowl here. Rodgers came to this team to win championships, not one playoff game, this narrative, and we should go all in. It's just stupid. Pittsburgh is dumb. We are cooked. Man, Echelon, you are sounding all the alarms today, just completely checking out here. That's another guy, too, there, Sugar Ray, looking at your comment here, Raheem Shaheed. That should be a guy that we should not forget either. Is he a number one? I don't think so. I think you more slant him towards, like, the Calvin Austins of the world, more than, being a legit one in case Metcalf goes down. But he does bring speed, which wide receivers on this team have not had a ton of. We should get a corner, in my opinion. I could see that maybe if Darius Slay, still looks old in these, next two games before the deadline, then, yeah, definitely then, we're cutting ties there and going and getting someone. To be honest, I don't want Olave. He doesn't want to be moved, and I don't want two of wide receivers. Man, Echelon, you are on one. You are on one tonight. Yeah, I could see that. Concussion problems certainly are a worry, and he's coming to only the hardest hitting division in the NFL. So, yeah, Olave, if you were to, if you say didn't have DK Metcalf and you needed a one, just a pure pass catcher and threat on the outside, then yeah. But in terms of what this team needs in the now, a number two who can, just be in the right spot for Rodgers to hit and run block, Myers will be the guy way over Olave. Mark calls him a bum. Talking about, I'm worried that we missed on JPJ. I think all of us are at this point. The nepotism high of that pick wore off really, really quickly this year. And yeah, you guys are all talking about it. Can't hold your way. Can't hold and stay in this league. He just has one way of playing, and that's, pressing guys up at the line and being handsy, and it's not working. Not working. Bring Minkah back and use him like Troy, says Lance. Watch Miami release Minkah, and we pick him up. That would be the only way I think that that Minkah could come back. I know at least there's a rule out there in the NFL that you cannot trade back for a player within, I think, a year or two of trading them away. So Minkah would have to be cut for any chance of him coming back to Pittsburgh. But one, I think, if Minkah were to get released, which I don't think would be happen. I think someone would, throw a 7th round pick the Dolphins' way to take on that contract and, sort of have him as a test run out there. But also, I think still, though, this defense, even though they're still, miscommunicating out there, I think Minkah was a big part of that last year, more of a nuisance than a help getting the team lined up. But hey, could you bring him back and play him as a Troy? Maybe there, Lance, maybe. Just being honest, bro, can't lie about what I see. It'd be hilarious. That'd be, regardless of how the rest of this year plays out for Jalen Ramsey, the Steelers in the end will have still won that trade. If you bring Minkah back in some way, figure out a way to do that, then that would definitely solidify it as a win. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just gonna real quick run through everything else here. The extra Pittsburgh sports news here from the day. So we just talked a ton. You guys sort of took us there. I was gonna get to it, but you guys steered the ship there for a minute. We did talk about the Steelers wide receiver situation and could they bring one in? They're still being mentioned out there in wide receiver conversations like Jalen Waddle and Jacoby Myers and Chris Olave, but we'll probably talk about, wide receiver every single day here until the trade deadline passes. But anyways, into some other things going on with the Steelers right now. Another thing from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler today, he reported as well that the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers to return to the team in 2026. Rodgers did say that this will probably be his final season earlier in the summer, but I mean, hey, as time goes on, circumstances change, opinions they change as well. Rodgers, he's been elite, he looks healthy, he looks spry for his age, and he's been talking, about things like he could be coming back next year. When he's been, saying certain things, he's been using future tense, referring to him and the team. So we'll see if he comes back. I would love it. I'm sure you guys would love it as well if he keeps playing at the pace he's at right now. And also, think we can officially, throw out the window this stigma that, oh, he's such a terrible teammate. He's been nothing but a professional, good relations with the guys. Oh, and also, this happened last night. If he was such a bad teammate, Rodgers is, would he be doing this on a, free Tuesday night ahead of a massive matchup against his old team? Nope. He and the boys going out to a Pens game last night. That's what I meant earlier, saying tying two teams together last night. Rodgers, I think Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, Ryan McCullum, I think Skylar Thompson and Will Howard were there as well. Spencer Anderson, too. They all at the Pens game last night. Kick things off pregame. Rodgers celebrating with the boys in the suite when the Pens scored goals. And then takes this photo with them as well, which this photo, crazy. Got Kiesel in there as well. Brian Trottier, Jay Caulfield, 2 legendary Pens right there. 7 Stanley Cup rings, 3 Super Bowl championships, 7 MVP awards, 2 national championships, all in one picture right there. And that's just, the guys in the suite. Could you imagine if you added in, could you imagine if you took into account the guys playing on the ice last night as well? That is crazy. Only one guy missing there that I really wanted to see if he would be there or not. No Broderick Jones. Kind of interesting, I guess. Rodgers said, "Hey, we're all good, but not good enough. You can, chill out at your place tonight and watch us on TV." I don't even know if Jones had any interest in hockey, quite honestly. Anyways, wrapping up the Aaron Rodgers talk here, Ben Roethlisberger on his footballing podcast came to the defense of Rodgers, interestingly as well, going back to the Bengals game. Ben said that the Bengals having that all-white uniform, coupled with them painting their on-field logos and end zones white as well, served as a camouflage for the safety on the interception, the first interception that Rodgers threw. So Big Ben, future Hall of Famer, standing up for another future Hall of Famer, saying, hey, the Bengals did a good job with the color scheme of their field and their jerseys. That might have played a factor into Rodgers throwing that interception. Last couple of things here. Wrapping up the extra Steelers news here for today. An update on the journey of a couple of former Steelers and their bids for the Hall of Fame. 4 former Steelers have now advanced advanced again in the voting process for the modern era category to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Hines Ward, James Harrison, Marquise Pouncey, and I believe there was someone else. Who else advanced? Ward, Pouncey, Harrison, and Gary Anderson. He too advanced. Those 4 guys advancing to the final 52 player list for the modern era category for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. Congratulations to those guys. Unfortunately, I think the Steelers lost to 2 guys. They were at 6. Now they're down to 4. David DeCastro and James Ferrier. They did not make the cut down to 52. But hey, nonetheless, congratulations to these guys. I still think it might be a bit of a tough get into on the first try for those guys. I mean, this Hall of Fame class of 2026 eligibles are loaded. I mean, you got Drew Brees going bit by bit here in the wide receiver category that Hines Ward's going to be going up against. He's got Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Jimmy Smith, Steve Smith Sr., Reggie Wayne. For Debo, James Harrison, he's going to be going up against Luke Kuechly and Terrell Suggs. Pouncey, I honestly think out of this group, Pouncey would be I think he has the best odds of getting in on the first try, but looking at some other guys, it's not going to be a cakewalk for him either. Nick Mangold, Steve Wisniewski, Marshall Yonda, those guys as well, bidding for the Hall of Fame on the offensive line. But nonetheless, congratulations to those 4 moving on to the final 52 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll keep track of that. Last couple things here for the Steelers. We just ripped the defense there for a good bit. Talking about offensive linemen here, another elite center, just like Marquise Pouncey, Jeff Saturday, who is now an analyst for ESPN. He ripped the Steelers defense as well, saying, not maybe, they definitely are the worst defense in the NFL right now. So at least one guy out there, kind of like all of us, really down on the Steelers defense right now, but Saturday going as far to say that they are the worst, or at least the most disappointing unit in the NFL right now. Also, talking about wide receivers as well. Steelers could have done a funny thing and brought back Ray McCloud, who got cut from the Atlanta Falcons the other day. He will not return to the Steelers after all. The New York Giants signing him. I think that is a legit signing, not hey, he's on the practice squad now. So Ray finding a new spot much closer to Pittsburgh. The New York Jets, that situation continues to get funnier and funnier. Unfortunately, not as funny for the Steelers in their, compensatory pick situation. Justin Fields got benched for Tyrod Taylor last weekend. It looks like Taylor is going to be the guy for the Jets moving forward. But now, hold on, wait a minute. The whole compensatory get the best pick as you possibly can thing with Justin Fields, that may be back on today. Tyrod Taylor, my goodness, I almost said Deshaun Watson. What the hell? Tyrod Taylor suffered a knee injury in practice today for the Jets. He is day-to-day and is questionable to play Sunday against the Bengals. So we'll see. Maybe Justin Fields will get back out there from the Jets, and we'll all be Justin Fields fans at least one more time. Yes, the Jets are ass. They're 0-7. Is Fields pretty ass now that he's left Pittsburgh? Also, yes. But come on. Sleeper agent Steeler, Justin Fields. Go out there, beat the Bengals. That's what we want to see there, Jay Fields. Also, just to wrap up talking about how ugly this Jet situation is, Fields said he doesn't have a relationship really at all with owner Woody Johnson for the Jets. Johnson, he roasted Fields, saying, if only we can complete a pass. That's a legit quote. Fields said he, doesn't have any plans to talk to Johnson about his comments. So that's kind of crazy. How the hell are you the owner and you don't, have any sort of relationship or talk to the quarterback? That's pretty damn crazy. We mentioned, Minkah Fitzpatrick could be a potential trade target as well. He was mentioned in that Jeremy Fowler report. And the last thing here for the day on the Steelers, happy birthday today to the one and only Heath Miller. Still crazy. We talked about that stat the other day that Freiermuth became the first tight end since like the 1950s to have 2 touchdowns in a 100-yard receiving game in the and have 100 yards receiving in a game. That's crazy. I could have sworn Heath could have done that at least one time. But anyways, crazy. Happy birthday, Heath. Wrapping up the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day. In baseball, mentioned yesterday briefly, Emmanuel Valdez and how hot of a start he's off to in the Arizona Fall League. Pirates 15th ranked prospect, putting up numbers comparable to Barry Bonds. We mentioned he yesterday had 7 home runs. Well, they played another game last night, and you guessed it, another home run for Valdez. That's now 8 home runs in 9 games for Valdez in the American Arizona Fall League. At this point, the way Valdez is hitting, I don't know his age or anything, but at this point, with the Pirates, fans are clamoring, put Connor Griffin, the 19-year-old shortstop, best prospect in baseball, on the opening day roster for the Bucks. Should we start a conversation that Valdez can be there as well? I think we should open up to it. And the last thing here for the day, just some broader NHL news. We talked about the Pens a bunch earlier. This is just broad NHL news. The NHL made a decision yesterday to cancel their Olympic send-off at the UBS Arena where the New York Islanders play. They are canceling the Olympic send-off event that they were supposed to have there in February. This is going to not affect, any players going and actually playing in the Olympics from the NHL. Instead, it was just a decision by the NHL and the Player Association to allow players to focus on their preparation to travel to Milan, Italy, where the Olympics will be. They don't have to have some big extravagant send-off. So frightened me there for a second when I saw that last night. Like, oh my God, did they just last second rip the rug out from underneath us saying no NHL players will be playing in the Olympics? But turns out they're just, not having a whole big powwow to send them off to Italy. So I'm cool with that. Also, at that same time, the NHL announced that the All-Star Game and Skills Competition will return in 2027. That will be held February 5th through the 7th, and it will take place at that UBS Arena on Long Island. So out goes the Olympic send-off. This in 2026. Back comes the All-Star Game and Skills Competition in 2027, which here's my reaction to that. Could anybody really care less about the NHL All-Star Game and Skills Competition? I mean, it is starting to get to comedic levels of the Pro Bowl games in the NFL that it has become so uninteresting. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, going to wrap up here for the day in a moment. Let's finish off with a couple of comments here. Minka, a freak athlete, put him in a different spot every play and always chasing the ball. I mean, bringing Fitzpatrick back, that would be probably the only way I would use him. But are the Steelers going to bring back, Minka? Is all the bridges, going to be rebuilt in that relationship? I just don't know. I'd be open to it. I would, but is it going to happen? Not really going to say that I believe it will ever happen again. Aaron, if you don't win a Super Bowl or don't at least make it to the championship game, do not come back. Save yourself. Talking about next year. I mean, is this probably the rate he's playing at? Is it sustainable? Mother Nature tends to say otherwise most times, but man, I bring him back at least to be a start the year. We'll see if you still have it. If you lose it, then hey, be a mentor for a new quarterback or Will Howard or someone like that. So, I mean, yeah, would it be better for Rodgers, for him personally, instead of, risking coming back and putting, health on the line again for another season? Probably. But if this team, could get in, if this team, gets into playoffs and they win a couple, I think that drive and hunger for a championship will still be there for Rodgers, and he will have that urge to ride off into the sunset with a championship, or at least come close to doing that, like his former mentor, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, those types of things. Rodgers a good person. People just didn't like what he said around COVID year. Yeah, if you know, yeah, I mean, I could care less about, his political affiliations. Can the dude ball? Yes. So whatever he does on the field, that's all I care about. Off the field, people are going to be looking for clicks and attention and engagement farming left and right. Diddy Watson, Fields isn't good, but comparing him to Watson is diabolical. Yeah, I didn't mean to compare Watson to Fields. I was just saying Tyrod Taylor, and then for some reason Deshaun Watson sits around. Trust me, I'm not comparing any of those guys to Diddy Watson. Watson is absolutely horrendous and even worse of a human being. So, yeah, Fields, if he's going out there against the Bengals, you were to ever win one game with the Jets, now would be the time, Justin. They already were going to bench you. Just go into the mind of Fields for a second. Justin, I'm talking to you. They were going to bench you, and now you're going to get an opportunity to go out there against the Bengals. You have nothing to lose. Let the ball fly, brother, and go out there and give the Bengals defense hell, please. Go out there, torch them for us. Get the win back for us, please. That's all we're asking there, Fields. Be that Steeler sleeper agent. I know, just joking. Wouldn't put that on you. Just joined late. First word I heard was Deshaun Watson. That's all right, Concepts. Glad you're here. That's why I had to comment about it. Yeah, I have no idea where Deshaun Watson came from. I mean, does anybody know where Deshaun Watson is, honestly? We haven't, heard from him. I have barely even seen videos of him rehabbing his Achilles. He's just, faded off into nothingness. Kind of, for the best for him, because that mob of angry Browns fans and heckling NFL fans, they're just waiting for him to come back. Yeah, the owner was speaking the facts there for the Jets, but I mean, yeah, he's not a good NFL owner at all. He's in a massage parlor, most likely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he is. Maybe he can, who knows who else will be there? Justin Tucker or something? I don't know. All right. I think that is going to do it here for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for joining me this evening. And of course, as we look ahead to the Bengals game or the Packers game, I scroll here past another quote from the Bengals game. Jamar Chase saying that the Steelers defense did exactly what they expected him and what they were hoping they would do, and that's what led to them having the success they did. Hopefully the defense is not as predictable this time around for the Packers. I think that's going to do it here, ladies and gentlemen. Just scrolling past some more post-today pictures from Steelers practice. DK Metcalf looks yoked. Jesus. Also, Dan Graziano from ESPN NFL Insider. I had a couple of conversations with people familiar with this situation that led me to believe Lamar Jackson, might miss another game while recovering from the injury. So Lamar Jackson did return to practice today for the Ravens. The Ravens are going to be playing... Who are the Ravens playing this week? Someone remind me in the comments. I should not have forgotten this. They are playing the Bears. I do remember that. Caleb Williams and the Bears. So we'll see. Maybe Lamar wins that game. Or maybe Lamar plays in that game. Maybe he won't. If so, the Cooper Rush experience is back on, boys, and you gotta absolutely love seeing it. I mean, yikes. Tua just scrolled past another video of Tua Tagovailoa's press conference. I mean, he was yikes in that press conference. I couldn't hit Jalen Watt. I couldn't throw the ball to Jalen Waddle because I couldn't see him. Brother, that is not the right thing to say. Jesus, concepts. I see your comment there. Holy hell. It looked like our defense ran through every different coverage and nothing worked. I don't understand Chase's comments because of that. We expected them to try every coverage. What else is there to do? You're telling me. I think just, stick with one thing, triple team Chase, and pray would be my strategy heading into this next Bengals game. Yeah, honestly, no, I get you there, concepts. I do, honestly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to do it here tonight on stream for a while, over an hour and a half tonight on stream. I want to thank you all for joining me. As always, for the final time, please go give this live stream a like, share this live stream, leave a comment, any thoughts, questions, opinions that you have on this live stream after the fact. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Quick subscriber check real quick. We are still hanging at 603 subscribers. So if you are new here, please hit that button. It's the least you can do. Not sure if we will be back here tomorrow or Friday. We will see what happens within the next 24 hours. There, if I had to guess, won't be too much Pittsburgh sports news besides the Steelers having another practice tomorrow. Pens, they'll play tomorrow night against the Florida Panthers, so we won't hear too much on them until the game happens tomorrow night. So we'll see if we're live tomorrow. Maybe a massive wide receiver trade, is able to get us on here immediately. That'd be the best. Just talking that out here, putting that energy out into the universe here. Please go get a wide receiver. If not, we'll see if we're back here tomorrow. If not, we will definitely be back here on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, to recap final injury reports for the Steelers and Packers ahead of their Sunday night game, and also to talk about what the Pens do tomorrow night against the Florida Panthers. With that, thank you all for joining me here tonight. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like, share, comment. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR, Facebook, Instagram, and X, and come back a little bit later on tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night. See you back here when we see you. Peace.